Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new F1 show on Facebook. This is called the F1 Debate Show. My name is JT. You might have seen me on YouTube or Facebook before. On the other end of the line is my personal friend and fellow YouTuber, as he was called. He also has a Facebook page where he writes vlogs and updates on the F1 news. He's my friend. He is Forever Formula. How you doing, my friend?
Hello JT, I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
No problem at all. Are you looking forward to the 2016 season?
It'll be absolutely fantastic. If it's anything like 2015 season, it'll be great.
Like Mercedes.
Yeah, dominating.
more midfield. So, yeah, he was kicking things off. Who do you think is going to win the 2016 championship?
Well, I think Lewis Hamilton will go for his third consecutive world championship, and Mercedes will dominate.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like they did in 14 and 15.
He's the favourite, isn't he? He's going to be the favourite.
He is.
Mercedes will definitely be the favourites. But who do you think who can challenge him? Challenge the Mercedes? Can Ferrari do it?
Like last year, I think we saw Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari. I'm hoping the Red Bulls come through. McLaren, obviously, two fantastic drivers, Fernando Alonso and Jenson Button. It'd be great to see them fighting, but well, I can't see that happening. Haas, Renault, two teams we haven't seen in Formula One. Well, for Renault for a very long time, and Haas are a brand new team, brand new management. They could challenge.
I mean, I've got a pound. No, I've got £3 on Haas to win the constructors, and I'll win £3,000 if that happens.
That would be fantastic.
How good would that be? You never know. You never know. So yeah, I think Ferrari will close the gap. But I mean, do you think Raikkonen can do well this season? Can he close the gap to Vettel more than the Mercedes?
I'm not sure. I mean, he was really not performing to the expectation of myself, probably you, and everyone else out there.
Especially towards the end of 2015.
The world champion with Ferrari, being there, his legacy for multiple years, and then Sebastian Vettel comes in, the new kid. It's almost like what happened to Seb at Red Bull when Daniel came in. Obviously, a fantastic driver, great legacy, and he was outshone.
Yeah, so just took over, didn't he?
He did.
Also, on about the 2016 season, we have 3 debutants. We have 2 at Manor. We have Pascal Wehrlein, former Mercedes test driver, and we also have Rio Haryanto, who was just signed today. He's been part of the Virgin Racing, as we call it at the time. He was their development driver, I think. He was at the 2012 Young Drivers Test at Silverstone. He's going to make his debut. Reportedly £10 million the Indonesian government paid Manor for him to drive there. Not bad or what?
Absolutely unbelievable.
Very good investment. And also we have our very own British Julian Palmer, who, to be fair, I wasn't a really big surprise when he announced that he was joining Lotus, or Renault as they're called now. But the more surprise for me was when Pastor Maldonado left. That was a very big surprise, because obviously in 2011 he signed for Williams because of his financial backing, and then in 2012, 2013 he kept on because again of his financial backing. But to be fair, in my opinion, he wasn't really a good driver, as everyone probably by now knows. And in 2014 when he signed for Lotus, again that was more financial reasons. So then when I heard that his financial backers had dropped out, and then he left, and then brought in Kevin Magnussen, and it was like very confusing.
I think lower down teams have to think more about financial to stay in. As I was talking to you yesterday about the tracks, using the German Grand Prix as an example, it's not so much about how much the enjoyability or anything like that. It's if they haven't got the funds, they will drop out, like we saw in 2015.
Exactly, it's more of a politics, you could say, as Daniel Ricciardo is quoted around here today. Yeah,
and that's what's
more
political. Didn't like about Formula 1.
I mean, Daniel Ricciardo did turn around and say yesterday about the political side of Formula 1, saying that it is too political, it is all about money and stuff, and it's taking the fun away from the sport. You're seeing like the younger drivers not getting a chance because they can't afford to have a seat, so they're going off to DTM, or they're going off to the Super Formulas or something else, which is a bit of a shame, because I mean, we could have like a world champion could have a Pastor Maldonado seat. Like in 2012, Maldonado, he won a race, but the other time he crashed and stuff, and then Williams had a really good car that year, So maybe instead of having Maldonado because of financial reasons, could have just put in a really good, talented young driver in.
Yeah, of course, there'll be many drivers out there who will be world champions in Formula One. They'll just never get the chance because they don't have the money.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the weird thing is about obviously, prime example, Max Verstappen, 16,
Yes.
17 years old, getting a Formula One seat because
That was
his
unbelievable.
financial backing is good.
I'm older than Max Verstappen. I didn't think I'd be older than a Formula One driver for a
I'm
very,
older than
very
Max
long time.
Verstappen. It is actually pretty scary that he's 17 years old and we're sitting here on a computer talking about him.
It
It
is.
shouldn't be happening.
No,
It shouldn't be happening. Let us
no,
know. Do you
not at
think
all.
JT and Forever Formula should be F1 drivers? Let me know.
Oh,
Ahem.
we would dominate.
Oh, we've dominated. I'm just looking at some stats about our fellow David and Rio Haryanto.
Yeah.
Indonesian, obviously, as I just explained about the Indonesian government. His card number is going to be 88, so that's going to be his on his car. Gone for very high numbers, man. I have. I mean, obviously, Murray had 99 last
Yep.
season. Pascal Wehrlein's going for 92, and Haryanto's going for 88. So, man, I like the high numbers. That must be a reason. He's been in the GP2 series for 3 consecutive seasons in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. Sorry, that's 4 seasons. Trying to say 3 years, 4 years.
Yep.
GP3 series for 2 seasons. Obviously graduated up from there. He started off in Formula Asia 2.0 in 2008. So obviously first Indonesian F1 driver. So
Yep.
there is a first. There's not really a lot about him. To be fair, obviously,
Yeah.
obviously no one's really heard much about him.
Well, he'll get the backing from the Far East around those kind of
definitely.
races. Malaysia, Japan, those Far Eastern races. It hopes so that he'll get a great turnout and there'll be so much support around him.
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously it'll be good for sponsorship because everyone. I mean, obviously they don't go to Indonesia, but they'll go to, obviously, as like you said, the Far East of the likes of Japan, Abu Dhabi, Malaysia. So obviously all their sponsors will want to sponsor Manor for that particular race
Yeah.
because all the light is going to be on him.
Just when you were talking about Rio and rising through the categories, Pascal Wehrlein, I think he's going to be an unbelievable driver to watch out. He's going to outshine a lot of people and do the
definitely.
best he possibly can in the car. Obviously, as we know, it's going to be a midfield team. We're not being realistic. I wouldn't have thought anyway that they'd be up challenging Ferrari, but youngest DTM champion and a third driver with Mercedes alongside Nico and Lewis, so he'll be learning from the
Oh,
best.
so he's experienced a fast car as well.
He'll be someone to look out for, and to the best of his ability, I think he'll shine in Formula One.
I would like to think so. I like to see Pascal do well because the first I heard of him was in 2014 when he first joined, and I couldn't pronounce his name. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Oh no, I mean the 3 drivers have new in Formula One, and sorry, there's 4, and we can only pronounce one of them, or I can only pronounce one of them. It's Julian Palmer.
Julian Palmer. I must be a natural at pronouncing names, but
Yeah.
trust me, I'm not. I think they were quite. But Pascal Wehrlein, I already heard of him. Like I heard how to say his name because they said it over and over again on BBC F1.
Yeah.
Wehrlein.
Just on the topic of new drivers, I mean, this person is a new driver, but Kevin Magnussen. I got us thinking the other day: is his career, is this move like Checo? 2030, he went to McLaren,
Yeah.
but then moved back to Force India. You know, he was a midfield team, went forward, but then moved back. When he moved forward, he didn't do very well, and then now he's moved back. Obviously, he is. Using Kevin Magnussen as an example, he went to McLaren, had a year where it wasn't. Well, I mean, it's not that he had a terrible season. The car was great. The car was average. But now that he's gone to Renault, do you think that he'll outshine himself when he was at McLaren in 2014?
Good question. I think obviously Renault are not going to win races. They're not. I don't think they're going to be on the podium. So the car might roughly be roughly the same pace as the McLaren was in 2014.
Yeah.
As like you said, it is sort of a similar sort of situation. You know, he stepped back to let Fernando Alonso in, and now he left McLaren, gone to Renault. Luckily, obviously with Pastor Maldonado leaving, I think it is a good move. Obviously, and I hope he does well. Will it be as successful as what Checo's was? Because Checo did have a good season in 2014. You know, he got on the podium, he did some good races. Same in 2015. He's a talented driver. His reputation has come back because Checo had a reputation in 2012 when he was on the podium 3 or 4 times. He nearly won the Malaysian Grand Prix.
So, he almost did. That
he had a reputation. Going to McLaren, he sort of damaged his reputation. Whereas K-Mag, he didn't really have one. He was more of them, like, he had a high potential. Went to McLaren, and then nobody really said, "Oh, this kid isn't good enough," because he was on the podium at his first race.
Yeah.
So the skills was there. Nobody really questioned it. So you could say this is sort of a rebirth, a second chance for Kevin. You know, just to say like, now I can show now I'm going to show what I can offer, because he's gone with you could say a new team sort of, because Renault have came back after like what 6-7 year break or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Roughly about that. And so they're back. So they're basically like a rebirth, brand new team. They don't know where it could be, at the front, at the back. So I mean, if they are in the midfield, if they are always in the top 10, outside the top 10, it's not going to really matter, because obviously the pace of their car depending on their rivals. So I think the progression of 2016, we'll see how K-Mag learns and develops as a driver. And obviously, if he starts DNFs, crashes and stuff, and that's when everyone's going to question, is this kid actually as good as what people thought?
Of course. So, also, as well, he is on par with Julian Palmer to start this season. In 2014, when he was at McLaren, he was clearly the number 2 driver, because he was lined up against Jenson Button, who'd been at McLaren for multiple years, and world champion in 2009. One of the, I would describe it as a blink and you'll miss it more years in Formula 1.
Oh, definitely.
So he's coming here and he's on par with Julian Palmer. He can outshine him, and he's got the potential to.
It will be a good battle between them, because 2 brand new drivers, one of them a debut and one of them's already raced in Formula 1. Didn't really have a chance to prove what he's worth at McLaren, so he's come to Renault. As you said, rebirthing his career. Julian Palmer, finally, this is his chance to show what he can do.
Yeah.
After I think it's 3 or 4 years in the limelight.
Yeah.
And now he's got his chance to show the world what you see if he can keep up with the tradition of British drivers, and see how far he can progress. He might be a 1-season wonder, and leave next season, or he could go up to likes of Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, and stuff like that. So I think time will tell. I think right now it is very, very hard to predict what's going to happen, because testing hasn't happened yet. We haven't even seen the cars, so we don't know much about them. So it is really hard to say what's going to happen. I think by the end of testing, we should sort of have a rough idea of who's going to be where, and are Mercedes going to be dominant? Are Red Bull going to be back the way they were? Will McLaren improve? What manner? And all them. But I think the team we should talk about mostly is our new boys at Haas F1.
Oh, fantastic!
A really good opportunity, American team. And did you know, for those who don't know, that the last American team was called? Do you know? It's easy. It's very, very easy. It's too easy. I think I've just said it. They're called Haas F1.
It's not Haas, is it?
They're called Haas. Honestly, they were.
Were they?
Honestly, yeah.
Amazing. I knew they had some. They were involved in Formula 1, but no, I didn't even know they were.
They had a team. I can't. I think it was in the 70s. I think, or the 80s. I don't really know. They weren't in it for long.
Yeah.
But the guy who owned the team had his surname was Haas.
Yeah.
No relation to Gene Haas, but his last name was Haas.
Yeah.
American. So how weird is that?
Amazing.
Very
Amazing.
Weird. But so yeah, how do you think they would do? I mean, do you think that there'll be a manor, or a virgin, as they were called back then, where they didn't really do as good, or do you think they will do a Red Bull and sort of progress, midfield team, then maybe progress upwards?
Yeah.
Or do you think there might be a Force India that they haven't really, they moved forward a little bit, but they haven't gone backwards, but they haven't gone forwards, if you know what I mean. They've always been, midfield territory.
Yeah.
So where do you think you'll see Haas?
Well, I think Haas are the students who are moving to a brand new school. Nobody knows what they'll be like on the grid at all. There's no predictions, nothing like that. It'll only be guessing.
Yeah.
I hope that they're up there. They've got 2 great drivers, Roman Grosjean. I've always thought he was a great driver. his 2012 stint where he was crashing more than Maldonado, which I don't think people realised,
A lot more.
with his one race ban for Italy, which obviously just stunned everyone. And yeah, I mean, I hope they are up there because they sound like a fantastic team and two great drivers to be in the team. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the team, Romain Grosjean. He's been in the sport since 2012 after his season one stint in 2009. Missed a couple of years, came back in the Formula One, sort of regrow his career when he was at Renault, Lotus. Sorry, well, they were called Lotus, they're called Renault now. That'll be a bit confusing. In 2013, when 2012 was a poor season for him, definitely.
Yeah,
He was lucky to stay on in 2013.
Yeah.
He sort of showed what he can do, and maybe he should even win a race, in my opinion. And then we've got the returning Esteban Gutierrez.
Yeah.
Had a stint at Sauber for 2 years.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't really prove himself. He was always at the back. Obviously at the time, Sauber weren't in a good place. I think maybe if he came in a year earlier with Checo instead of partner with Checo instead of Kobayashi, maybe he could have proved himself there and he could have went on to bigger and better things. But again, this is a bit like Kevin Magnussen. He's came in, rebirthed his career, new team. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
definitely.
It'd be fantastic to see. There'll be a great team, and obviously also, I'm sure you'll be backing them, JT, with your bet.
I am, yeah. I mean, as you probably some of you know, I am part of on the F1 for Life page, which is the birth of JT. This is where JT came from, the infamous JT. No, I'm only kidding. And I put a post and I said I've just put a £3 bet on for Haas to win the constructors, and I'll get £3,000 back. And they were saying, no, you're an idiot, what are you doing, and blah blah blah, like getting really dislike comments and stuff. And it's like, I love Haas to win the constructors, not only because I win some money, because I would just be like a Leonardo DiCaprio when he's on the Wolf of Wall Street, where he's standing at the microphone and he's like, yeah, I was right. Yeah, that type of thing. No, I'm only kidding. But I mean, it is a bit far-fetched that they will win the constructors. I don't think so. But I mean, you never know. You never ever. I mean, look at Braun. Who knew Braun would win the constructors?
I mean, things happen that can't be explained. Not Formula One. I might be going out on a limb here, but Leicester, they win the Premier League. I mean,
exactly. Somebody put on what was it, a £5 bet or something, and you could win £10,000 or something like that.
That would be
Leicester win the league.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. It can happen.
It can.
Like, for like probably the two of you who are watching this, in the comments below, right? Comment: will Haas win the constructors? Is JT going to be right? And
I'll comment underneath the video.
Yay, we have a fan. And I'll split the money with Lyle. Won't I?
Yes. Yeah. Be fantastic. Not Leicester winning the league. Just if any of you were lost.
Oh no. This is still a Formula One page, Formula One channel. This is nothing to do with football.
Yes, of course, yes.
Anyways,
sorry for you non-Leicester fans out there.
Hello. Don't know why you're watching this, but hello. Anyways, we're moving off topic. We are moving off topic. We need to drift ourselves back into 2016.
Let's get back on, and let's start with McLaren.
I was just about to say that. You've read my mind. McLaren. Can they do well? Can they improve?
It's a very, very, very hard one. I mean, you just look back. I mean, 2012, it wasn't a far year. I'm just using that as an example. That was their last great year. That was Jenson Button's last win, and that was something like 70 races ago. And they had, at that point, they had two great drivers, they had loads of sponsors, they had an unbelievable car with an unbelievable engine. And then they fell downhill so much. Now, this year that they're starting with two drivers who will be on a bit of a down from last year.
Yeah.
I mean, Fernando Alonso, I mean, it's almost embarrassing. There's two radio messages that stand out for me that just show Fernando Alonso. There was, and they were on the top 10 video that other pages had shared. There was one in Canada when he was asked to save fuel, and he went, I don't want to, and then he went, this race is making us look like amateurs.
Yeah.
And the second one, which I imagine everyone knows, is in Japan when he went GP2 engine, "Ugh!" and
I was probably furious.
that was it.
Has the move to McLaren damaged his career, his reputation?
Fernando was a Ferrari driver.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was a Renault driver, of course, but when he moved to Ferrari, that was his team to stay with.
I think. Even if McLaren have a poor year and Fernando says, right, after 2016, that's me finished with Formula One, he will still be looked back as the driver who should have won 5 World Championships.
Oh yes, of course. 2012, that should have been his work. That should have been his year. 10
should have
possibly.
been his year. He was top of the tables. Vettel was 3rd or 4th.
I still think though that my Australian prodigy should have won in 2010. Mark Webber. He had a fantastic season, but leaving without a World Championship.
Where is he now? Is he in Formula One?
Who, Mark Webber?
Is he? No.
Oh well, his younger son Daniel Ricciardo is.
His youngest son.
I always remember, it might be a bit off topic this, but obviously you remember his rivalry with Sebastian Vettel. I absolutely loved it. And I remember when he was on Top Gear, Top Gear, with Jeremy Clarkson.
The good version, this Chris Evans. Who's Chris Evans?
Who can't take the motion, Matt LeBlanc, who, by the way, is a massive Formula One fan. He's always at the US Grand Prix, and fantastic. Obviously, Eddie Jordan. And I remember he was on there, and Jeremy said to him, "Will you miss your teammate?" No, he didn't. Sorry, that's before he went. Something like, "Have you ever thought about hitting Sebastian?" And then Mark turned around and he went, "Well, my mum told me never to hit boys, mate." I thought it was fantastic.
And it was just like, oh, but Mark Webber, you missed that you missed that type of character, don't you? Because he was honest.
I think Jenson Buttons, he's almost like the last part of the shadow of Mark Webber. Once he leaves, and it'll be it's a different world out there.
In my opinion, you've got 2 drivers left who are veterans of Formula One. Obviously, you've got Button and Alonso. When them 2 leave, then that's like you've got Hamilton, who, but he's not one of the classic old ones. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, when I was growing up, I remember obviously Schumacher, Alonso, Button. I remember calling Button rubbish and stuff. Barrichello, all them when I was growing up in Formula One. And now, obviously, you've got like Hamilton, Vettel, Raikkonen. Raikkonen's one of them, you could say. But he hasn't got long left.
He's a veteran, but there's been a lot of years that he hasn't performed. 2012, I heard people say that was a great year for him. After his win in Abu Dhabi, it wasn't. And then he came back and won Australia, 2013.
Yeah.
Raikkonen, since he came back, obviously 2007, when he won the World Championship, that was his last great year, then the rest has been a waste. He should have never come back.
In my opinion, I think his return to Formula One was a little bit of a success. He won in 2012 at Abu Dhabi. In 2013, he won the first race. His car was good, but obviously Vettel and Red Bull, and then you had the Ferraris and the McLarens at the time that were a lot faster.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't say his return was a failure, but at the same time, he should have done better in 2015 because they did have a quick car.
They did. Well, Sebastian showed that.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Also, you said Fernando might walk away at the end of this year.
Uh-huh.
If he'll have to walk soon because also, McLaren, Ron Dennis, whatever his he was, Fernando, obviously also they wanted him back after 2007 after the problems with their spine scandal and basically they thought that they hadn't left on the best terms. Fernando might be kicked out and also be and because they're wasting the time, both of them. If they have a bad year, I'm not saying that they are. They're fantastic drivers. They are fantastic. Jensen made the top 10 over the list. Obviously, probably in one of the worst cars on the grid. So the 2 fantastic drivers, they have another bad season.
Yeah.
Rod and the board might kick them both out and bring in Stoffel Van Dorn and I don't know, someone else in the McLaren young driver program.
Yeah, if anything, I think Button will retire at McLaren. Alonso may go. There was rumours of him going back to Renault, because the Renault boss wants him. So that'll be like his third stint at Renault, because he's already been there twice.
That's a hard one.
I doubt it. Me personally, I doubt it. So I think when them two go, the drivers to come in will probably be Stoffel Van Dorn and whoever else is in the McLaren Drivers Academy. They might even go for somebody on the grid.
When you said that Fernando would go back to Renault, that sounded, when you said that sounded like when for the 2014 season, 2015 season, the end of 2014, when Honda were coming back into it.
Yeah.
And I remember David Coulthard said this, and it really got us thinking. Said that everyone was bothered, everyone was almost excited, like a kid at Christmas, that Honda were coming back into McLaren, and they really and they forgot.
Mm-hmm.
The fans forgot about. They didn't think about anything else. All they thought was Honda coming in. They'll fix everything, all the woes of 2014, and I think the McLaren technicians and all the building of the car back in Woking, they forgot about that. They were bothered about Honda coming back into it.
Yeah,
and that's the same. I mean, if Alonso goes to Renault, that'll be that. They'll be excited that Fernando will be coming back to the team. But he won't do well, and also as well, he is a veteran of the sport now. He's getting on a bit.
I mean, back to the question about McLaren's sort of season, you could say in 2016. I think it's going to be a midfield sort of season. I would hope. I would like to hope, because you can't in a winter when you've got 2 months. You've got the design of the car. You've got little party up the lawn, testing, and a lot of stuff, right? Honda hadn't had a clue what to do with the power unit last year.
Yeah.
Honestly, literally, they were powerless, you could say.
Yeah.
In both ways. And I don't think you're not going to find the time that takes from McLaren to, say, Mercedes, the pace of the Mercedes, the pace of the Ferraris. You're not going to find that in a winter. So I think maybe sort of a Force India type of pace, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Toro Rosso, around there. I would like to think so. Instead of being overtaken, every time when I say Toro Rosso come behind the McLaren, I'm thinking, oh, there we go, another position lost. I want to go, no, Alonso, whoosh, he's not going to catch them. He's going to, surprise some people, score more points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would like to have that type of season. I think that's going to be that type of season. I could be wrong, because obviously I don't work on that side of things, so I would like to be wrong, because that means, McLaren are going to do well. But coming from a fan's point of view, I don't think you're going to find that amount of pace in one winter, sorry.
Yeah.
So I would say it will take some years for McLaren to get to where they want to be, but progress will definitely be made, definitely.
Yeah.
I can guarantee progress will be made.
Yeah, it will be, but as I say, it's such a shame. McLaren's last good year was 12 when Hamilton left. The only thing he must be sitting there now thinking, I've done the right move because I've moved when McLaren is sinking. And also as well, I mean, Mercedes were sort of on the up in 2013.
Yeah.
And obviously 14, the shot up.
Oh, definitely. I mean, did Hamilton know what was going to happen to McLaren?
I think, well, Hamilton, when he first made his decision, he had Belgium, didn't help.
Yeah.
Then he had reliability problems in Monza. They really didn't help. And then Singapore, when he was spewing oil, when there was a leak.
Mm-hmm.
And that, basically, that decided for him.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
that decided for him.
I think the Singapore Grand Prix in 2012 sort of defined Hamilton's decision of, right, I think the contract was probably on the table by the summer break. After Hungary, I think Mercedes approached Hamilton and said, look, this is a contract, you've got such and such time to agree to it, and such like that, and we'll see how it goes. And when he walked out of that car in Singapore, at that point he probably thought, right, my mind's made up.
He's gone. I mean, because Mercedes were probably definitely looking to sign him, and obviously when Schumacher left, obviously they know that Rosberg and Lewis and Nico Rosberg were friends. Obviously from a young age, and they would be fans of this partnership. And Mercedes were having, they were having a recall of everything. They were changing everything around, and he made the best move of his life.
He did. I mean, 6 seasons at McLaren, 1 championship.
Yeah.
3 seasons at Mercedes, 2 World Championships.
That's unbelievable.
That is pretty good. Will it be 3?
Possibly.
Will it be 3? I mean, again, let us know. Will Hamilton make it 3 for Mercedes, and obviously 3 in a row? But anyway, that is going to be a wrap for today's debate show. Thank you very much for watching. Now our next video is going to be about testing, because we are testing on Monday. How good's that? Testing is back.
Fantastic.
I love loads of car launches. Keep on our pages on Forever Formula's page. Please go over there and like it. Like my page as well, JT. I'll be doing reviews on car launches and stuff. We might even do a video about car launches.
Yeah.
Once all the cars are out, once testing's done, we'll do a video on testing. We'll then do a video about the cars and how they look and our opinions and stuff. And obviously, by the time the 2016 season comes, Horizon Australia, we'll be doing loads more videos about that. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. We are all signing off, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Say bye, Lyle.
Bye, guys.
See you later.